Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. We've got a lot of NFL news to catch up on, and none of it has to do with Deshaun Watson-Perna. This week alone, Joe Flacco was traded, Mark Ingram was traded, another Ingram wants to be traded, and I've got a great landing spot for him. Brandin Cooks is pissed, J.J. Watt is going on IR, Mark Davis went to school, and Bruce Smith has officially won Satan's favorite holiday, Halloween. So let's digest all of this NFL news, regurgitate it, and then puke it up right here on That's Good Sports. My YouTube analytics say my finger gun and asking of you to subscribe is not working. So here's a different approach. Fucking subscribe to my channel or I'm gonna come find you and ask you to do it in person. You wanna see this on your doorstep? You wanna see this on your doorstep? And subscribe, asshole, nice guy, nice man watching show. Today's episode, though, is brought to you by Manscaped.com/goodsports. Manscaped is the longest running sponsor of this show. You know that, and you know the Performance Package Kit will take care of every single pube on your body. And now Manscaped just dropped an ultra premium body wash. And here's a censored version of me squirting the body wash gel in the shower. Not this time, FCC. This is seriously my favorite body wash. My wife even complimented how nice I smelled after using it. It is infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin fresh, moist, and clean without ever drying out. And that's important to me because my beard in this dry climate sometimes looks like a bad before image in a dandruff commercial if I'm using other washes. This 16-ounce aluminum bottle looks almost as sexy as you after a fresh trim with the Lawnmower 4.0 and a scrub with its vegan shower gel, which I think means you can eat it. Oh, no. It just means it doesn't have dyes or chemicals. You know the drill. Go to manscaped.com/goodsports for 20% off plus free shipping. Keep the change, you not so filthy animal anymore. J.J. Watt is likely to miss the remainder of the season after it was determined that he needed to get shoulder surgery. Now, this was a surprise in that J.J. Watt actually played more than half of the football game on Sunday with the injury. It's not a surprise in that it is J.J. Watt and injuries have plagued him since 2016. But really, the biggest surprise was learning that the blazing speed of General Mills himself is the reason J.J. Watt injured his shoulder. And starting to look like that Cardinals curse might be real on my power rankings. The Cardinals are going to miss his presence on the line. Watt may have had only one sack this season and a forced fumble, but he was disrupting with quarterback pressures, 28 total pressures on the season, which is tied for third best for interior players. Watt needs 3 months to recover, which, with the extended season, means there's a small chance he could return for a championship game and, dare I say, Super Bowl if Arizona makes it there. Now, edge rusher Melvin INgram is unhappy in Pittsburgh, and not just because Ben Roethlisberger's arm didn't tell Melvin INgram it retired 2 years ago, but because INgram isn't getting as many game reps as he'd like, which is strange because he has just as many QB pressures as TJ Watt. Now, the Chiefs tried to acquire Melvin INgram, but the Steelers didn't want to send him to an AFC team. Weird, since the Steelers aren't contenders this year, but whatever. I'm glad he's not on the Chiefs. I think it makes a lot of sense for INgram to go to the Cardinals to replace J.J. Watt instead of playing second fiddle to one in Pittsburgh. But maybe INgram is tired of playing opposite of elite brother pass rushers. Now, Mark Davis showed up for his first day of 5th grade. I'm sorry, I mean for the NFL fall owners meetings with a fresh cut, a new starter jacket, and the nicest JanSport backpack you've ever seen.
Probably, yeah. I think that there should be, yeah.
Did you like your
Especially with some of the things that were, charged.
He said overall his first day of school was pretty good. Traded his juice box and second pair of Nikes for someone's leftover Mongolian beef from P.F. Chang's at lunchtime. And hopefully soon the NFL will send him a written report on the Washington football team investigation's findings, which Davis wants, which actually everybody wants. Now Davis does kind of look like the rich kid who gets all of the cool clothes and dopest trapper keepers, but has a tough time overall making friends. Now, I make fun of Mark Davis, but he's 100% right here in terms of the Washington football team thing. I respect Mark because he doesn't really give a shit about the other NFL owners, probably because they look down on him for not being a billionaire. The NFL forced him to force Gruden to resign based on Gruden's dumb emails, and after that decided no more information needed to come out of Washington. So when Davis says the NFL should provide a written report of its findings about the Washington football team, he's going against the unwritten code of the NFL owners, which is we should never be held accountable for any of our deplorable actions. Now, Mark Davis brings up a great point too when he says the timing of the Gruden email leak was super fucked up. Not his exact words, but the NFL had this information months ago, didn't bring it to his attention then. Instead, Davis was forced to oust a coach he loved, and nobody on earth loves John Gruden more than Mark Davis, and that includes Gruden's wife and kids. But based on this info, my best guess is the NFL didn't want any of this information leaked, including the Gruden stuff. Otherwise, they would have had Davis handle this, before getting 5 weeks into the season. Instead, something happened. We don't know what happened, and we know the NFL does not want any more information to come out. Probably because it would bring the whole fucking league down. Now, I've got a big Vance Joy Dawson Knox hand update. It is still broken. He will not play Sunday, but he's treating his broken hand by wearing a sports bra and a single bandage on his broken hand, which actually looks swollen as fuck, but I respect his toughness. He's like, don't worry, coach. I may have broke my hand into pieces through a touchdown anyway, but I'm now going to heal it with a single Band-Aid. Sticking with the Bills, Bruce Smith won Halloween. This is the front of his house, decorated with the graves of all the quarterbacks he sacked during his career. My bad, I thought this was another former Bills player for a second.
Hey, Twitter world, it's me, O.J. Mahomes.
Seeing this is pretty cool, though.
Miles, I was inspired by your graveyard, but here's what a real graveyard looks like.
It's even cooler when you learn that Bruce Smith saw Myles Garrett's Halloween QB graveyard and was like, that's cute, Myles. Which, Bruce, as the all-time sack leader, it's very impressive to see all of these sacks brought to life via death.
But here's what a real graveyard looks like.
Here's what a real graveyard looks like? That's horrifying. That sounds like the opening line to a perfect horror film. This is going to be the Bruce Smith Appreciation Minute. People jizz all over the fact that Tom Brady is kicking Father Time right in the dick, but seeing David Carr and Rex Grossman on those tombstones is a reminder Bruce Smith did the same thing as Tom Brady, but as an edge defender. He played 19 seasons on defense, starting in 1985 when a torn ACL was worse than getting AIDS. That's a man who's lost 4 straight Super Bowls and didn't die of a broken heart and played 9 more seasons. Bruce Smith, damn legend. Joe Flacco was traded to the Jets this week, so Mike White could still get the start against the Bengals. The Jets obviously needed another quarterback since Zach Wilson's PCL injury will keep him sidelined for 2 to 4 weeks, which is interesting since PCP is the only thing that can keep Jets fans awake for the last 10 years. With Flacco out of Philly, though, that means Gardner Minshew was officially QB2 in Philly. I actually think Jalen Hurts is playing a little better than people are giving him credit for right now. But damn it, if we can see Gardner Minshew play some QB this year, we will all be better humans for it. Now, we also learned this week that Mike Tomlin hates college.
As I don't have time for that speculation. I mean, that's a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I have any interest in coaching college football? That'll be the last time that I address it. And not only today, but moving forward. Never say never, but never. Okay? Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check. Anybody asking Sean Payton about that? You know, anybody asking Andy Reid about stuff like that?
Tomlin knows no booster check on earth can cover the haunting costs of variable interest rates of student loans. Now, I respect Mike for standing up for students. My question to you guys, though, is would you rather be an elite NFL head coach, which Tomlin is, or an elite head coach in college football? Let me know in the comments, because I'd honestly rather be one of the best college head coaches in the country, and not just because the pussy is so much better at the college level. The money is about the same. Recruiting is easier than drafting. Film study is about 10 times less intensive. The season is shorter, especially if you miss the college football playoff. And you don't have to travel nearly as far for your games. And it's USC. You can low-key get a degree in film and transition to movie director when you get bored with football. Now, Tyrod Taylor returned to practice this week, and Baker Mayfield is expected to start this week. We've got 2 official bench alerts brought to you by BenchwarmerBrew.com, my personal coffee company. And through October 31st, we are doing a $3.70 discount with promo code OLDMAN in honor of my birthday this week, which is Friday. So make sure you go to Twitter at Brandon Perna and tell me happy birthday so I can feel like a popular boy again. Based on this video of Baker Mayfield throwing this week, though, I think it is a very bad idea to start him. I mean, Baker was struggling to throw there, and there wasn't even a pass rush. Finally, Mark Ingram is going back to New Orleans after the Texans and Saints agreed on a trade. To celebrate the homecoming, here is Ingram and Kamara showing us exactly how they would get away with robbing a bank and maybe even more.
We'll hit the bank on them. No face, no fingerprints. No case, no face.
I was honestly a little sad when Mark Ingram had to leave New Orleans. He and Kamara were so much fun to watch both on and off the field. And Ingram was really, really good there in his role with Kamara. He's also just 89 yards away from becoming the Saints' all-time leading rusher. Deuce McAllister holds the current honor. Deuce McAllister's name literally translates to Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2.
I mean, that's a joke to me.
It's Kevin McAllister. Also, Mark Ingram's middle name is Valentino. Why have we not been calling him Valentino his entire career? Now, Alvin Kamara is a good 3,000 rushing yards away from surpassing McAllister. And this may surprise you, but Alvin Kamara has never had a 1,000-yard rushing season. Obviously, it's because he's too good in the passing game, but I was still surprised to see that. Now, this trade leaves the Texans with just 4 running backs on the roster, which is 1 more than most shitty teams carry. The Texans have been rolling 4 to 5 deep on the active game day roster with guys like David Johnson, Mark Ingram, Phillip Lindsay, Rex Burkhead, and Scotty Phillips. And this is in addition to continuing to waste a roster spot on Deshaun Watson. No wonder the Texans suck. And I can tell you who hated this trade. Wide receiver of the Texans, Brandin Cooks, who tweeted, "This is bullshit. Such a joke." The trade deadline is November 2nd, so all in-season trades must be completed by that day. I think Brandin Cooks just put himself on the trading block, and I think his dirt cheap salary for this year means he could help a contending team at wide receiver right now. The teams that should consider Brandin Cooks: the Ravens, the Titans, the Packers, and yes, the Saints. I think the Saints could make some noise if their passing game can be consistent. Cooks would be the best receiver on their roster. He already has more receiving yards than anyone in New Orleans, and he did that with the Texans. And like Ingram, he could return to where he started his career. It makes too much sense. Do it, Saints. Do it. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. A lot of news to get through. Thanks for sticking around. Subscribe here on YouTube. And if you want to click the video on the screen to watch more of my BS, you can do it. Power rankings, maybe? Best and worst of the week, maybe? I do a lot of videos.